Taking off the gloves, I've had enough, it's in my blood. I was born for this.
All right, guys, welcome to the Saturday DFS show. Joseph Kamo here. What's going on, guys? Listen, I'm excited for Saturday DFS. Hopefully you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. In this show, I'm going to walk you through the optimal players at each position, starting with quarterback, going to tight end, going to wide receiver, and then going to what else? Running back. Running back I saved to the end. Again, it's going to help you with your Draftkings and Fanduel Lineups. It's very important you pay attention, take some notes, and make sure you watch the games. Now, it's Saturday. I am going to be watching the Tyson fight. Now, if you guys are not watching the Tyson fight, make sure you guys do. I'm excited. I feel like a kid again because I used to watch Tyson when I was a kid, so I'm excited. Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones on tonight. Make sure, to watch that. I'm going to be watching it for sure. Also, guys, head on over to manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. Get yourself a Manscaped 3.0 trimmer. Amazing product. Head on over there. Now, they've got other amazing products as well. Makes a great gift idea and also for yourself. Treat yourself. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. All right, let's start off with the quarterback position, the optimal plays at each position, not messing around. Again, with quarterback, I always tell you guys with the quarterback position, make sure you guys get a quarterback that you know has been consistent. Justin Herbert, good matchup, though. Carson Wentz, don't trust him, but good matchup. Derek Carr, has he already played yet? What's going on here? No, he hasn't. Yeah, Derek Carr, good to go. Make sure you guys consider him, although he hasn't been really crazy good, although he did put up 23 points last game, does have an optimal matchup. Who else is good here? Cam Newton, optimal matchup. Matt Ryan, he had a bust of a week last week, but he does have a good matchup. Those are your optimal plays at quarterback. Now, Russell Wilson, you can also consider. He's been pretty solid, has a mid-range matchup against Philly. It's not the greatest matchup, so be cautious there. Now, Pat Mahomes is playing. I think it's a 4 o'clock game against Tampa Bay. 8th hardest versus position, so if you want to consider him, he is expensive on DraftKings, still $8,000, but he does have a tough matchup. And just to note that Aaron Rodgers is playing Chicago, it is a tough matchup as well. When we're looking at tight ends here, guys, let's rapid fire through this. Let's start off with the guys that have, that are expensive but have a mid-range matchup. Travis Kelce, expensive mid-range matchup. And then we go to a good matchup guy, Darren Waller, okay? Great matchup versus position versus Atlanta. Hunter Henry versus Buffalo, good matchup. Evan Ingram versus Cincy, good matchup, although he has not been consistent at all. Now, going for the absolute optimal matchups here, you want to be aware, Austin Hooper, great matchup versus Jacksonville, but hasn't really been that good. Tyler Eifert hasn't been that good, but good matchup. Tyler Kroft, anyone from Buffalo, Dawson Knox, but again, they don't really use tight ends that much, so even though they got a good matchup, very hard to trust. Like I said, Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, who's been boring at best the past 3 matchups, is a good matchup as well versus position. Robert Tonyan, phenomenal matchup versus position. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers does have a tough matchup for Chicago, but they tend to play tight ends a little weaker, so Tonyan could be a good value play at $3,400 there for you at the tight end position. And, you may want to consider him, but Noah Fant as well. Good matchup versus position. And again, Kyle Rudolph, decent matchup as well. So that's the tight end position. Guys, tight end, try to get the safest possible play you can get. Moving on to the wide receiver position. I know you're tempted to play Devontae Adams. He does have the second hardest matchup versus position against Chicago secondary. Just a note of that, okay? But I will go over here the guys that have a really good matchup versus position here at wide receiver. And again, with wide receiver, try to get a wild card. Try to get guys that could boom. Like, for example, Thielen's at right, so you may want to really consider Jefferson this week. He may see the top corner, but he may get the volume as well. Okay, other easy matchups at wide receiver here you may want to consider here. Nelson Aguilar, decent matchup. You may want to consider him. Robbie Anderson, good matchup as well. Robbie Anderson, been safe at best the past couple of games, not the greatest. Could be a good play this week. Who else is here? Jarvis Landry, pretty decent matchup there for you. And Darius Slayton, good matchup as well versus Cincy. Now, again, with wide receiver, you might want to take some risks, okay? Like, I still do I don't know if the game's going to be played or not. I heard it's going to be moved to Sunday, but the Steelers, I still, I do still like Claypool, even though he's playing Baltimore. But again, be cautious. Julio Jones banged up. You may want to consider Calvin Ridley, mid-range matchup. And T. Higgins with a new quarterback coming in. It's going to be suspect. He's got a mid-range matchup as well. But again, you want to take some risks. With wide receiver, you want to go for some wild cards. Also, another tip when you're looking at this, make sure you go back and look how consistent has that wide receiver been. Sometimes you might need a consistent wide receiver. Plug them into your DFS lineups because you need that consistency along with the upside, okay? Optimal matchups at running back here. David Montgomery, good matchup versus Green Bay. How will he do? He's been boring at best. Who knows? Brian Hill coming in for Todd Gurley, who is banged up. You may want to consider him. He's been mediocre at best, but if you don't have a better option, Brian Hill could be an option there. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts running backs all have a good matchup. Probably Naheem Hines is the safest bet, but Taylor is starting to get a little bit more volume. You may want to consider him. Dalvin Cook versus Carolina, good matchup here. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb versus Jacksonville, good matchup there for you guys. And he's already played here. I don't know why they're showing me players already played. Who else is pretty good here that you may want to consider based on matchup? Kalen Ballage, may want to consider him. Let's see who else here is good. Miles Sanders, I believe if he's healthy, play him versus Seattle. Mid-range matchup as well. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, very hard to trust who's going to get the volume there. Could be Lenny, who knows. And you may want to consider, Alvin Kamara's got a mid-range matchup, but again, with Taysom Hill there, you got some problems. So be careful with him as well. But again, go for the most consistent players and then try to get some upside at that wide receiver position. The defense matchup I like this week for sure. You try to go to Dolphins, and they are the most expensive, 4,300. I do like, I'd say probably Saints here aren't bad. Rams aren't that bad. You may want to consider in Giants because, Burrow's gone. So Giants may actually step up and have like an upside type game. And you may want to consider the Browns at defense. And that's it, guys. So when you are playing DFS, again, you got to anchor your team with an ace quarterback. You want to anchor your team with a solid running back or two, and also a solid wide receiver, and then take some wild cards on the wide receiver. And again, I gave you guys some tight ends like Tanyan that may boom this week as well. And try to think smart. Look at scenarios like Brian Hill, probably good value. You never know. It could go off. With Gurley being gone, he might get the opportunity. So you got to look for those holes and look for opportunities where guys could potentially shine. Again, it's boom or bust type of scenario, but at least you have the upside sometimes when you need it. And again, play within your budget, but sometimes you may want to play multiple lineups because one lineup might have one player, that one player bust, but if you had put in another player that you were doubting on the other lineup, you could have won, right? It's a difference. And again, these are in these big guaranteed prize pools where there's a lot of people. You want to be able to take some risks sometime, but also mix it up and diverse your portfolio so you have better odds of winning, okay? It's tough to win these big 500,000 people GPPs because there's so many people in it and somebody just happens to have the perfect lineup every time, but it's pure luck, right? Sometimes, or they import like 1,000 lineups to just play in the lottery, right? And that's the challenge. Even though you have a good lineup, it can be tough for you, okay? So listen, good luck, guys. Saturday DFS, NFL, whatever. Week 12 already is here. Like, are you kidding me right now? It's insane. Like, it's going by really, really fast. Unbelievable, guys. And hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Get back in the gym, do what you got to do if gyms are open, but whatever, work out at home and go out there and grind, guys, okay? Thanks for being here, guys. I am out.